Hi everyone, it has been a very busy day. Well, the date is the 16th of September. First, we started out having a new version. I think it is 4.0.3 and we upgraded it, and in it there are two announcements. One which is fantastic news that FinPay has been launched. Well, another announcement is that there is a change in our reward system. And with that, there are a lot of impromptu training sessions that are being held in the Asia Pacific office in Singapore. Well, 3 training sessions by 3 different trainers to be exact. And one of the training sessions was conducted by Miss Yo-Yo, which was in Chinese, in Mandarin. Then there was an English sharing session by Carlos, which I have recorded that session and I have posted it earlier in my YouTube. So be sure to tune into that video where there is a full walkthrough by Carlos on what the changes are. From there, then I have created my own video. I digested it, I dissected it, and I rolled out my video about 1 hour and a half earlier. And that video, I walked through the announcement of that reward system and the changes. I also did a live demonstration of a few accounts. The first, which is that of a normal user, and the second and third are GM accounts. All right, just to drive in the point and hopefully, to make it easy and simple for you to understand the changes. In that video, I mentioned that at first it was announced that immediately this new reward changes and the policy would be applied immediately. However, then it was mentioned that it has been extended to 3 days, that it would actually apply 3 days later. Right now, I have better news for you. Okay, right now, I have received this urgent notification, and that is why I am doing this video quickly, right after I have rolled out that earlier video, to update you that the latest news is that it will be implemented slightly later, 6 days later, on the 22nd of September. So that means that there is a small allowance in these few days for us to get adjusted to these new policies, for us to strategize and think how we would like to structure our accounts better. And some of us may have to top up on our liquidity and pledge out our funds in order to qualify for future rewards on a daily basis. All right, so this is the latest announcement. You can read it here yourself. I'm not going to go through it in detail, just to tell you that this will be implemented not now, not 3 days later, but 6 days later, and the date is the 22nd of September. For those of you who are operating in the Pacific time, well, please know that all these timings that we're talking about Singapore time. Right, Singapore time. I believe this is all Singapore time, and if you're in the West, then please make your adjustments. Okay, just try to work in the difference of your time zone yourself. Yeah, so this is one urgent sharing for this video. Another thing that I would like to seize this opportunity to share with you is that hang on a minute, let me try to, yes, all right, so let me expand this and share with you. This is a screenshot that I just took not long ago, about half an hour ago, and this will be a good indication of our current SCF coin price. And this was screenshot from the AVE.AI app. Okay, so the price of SCF is holding quite steady, or rather increasing over time. Okay, increasing over time. Right now it is at $61.21. Also, it has hit a 1 billion mark for the market capitalization, or market cap for short. Now, what does this market cap actually tell us? The market cap reflects the company's size in the stock market. Okay, so this is calculated by multiplying the current stock price by the number of shares available for trading. Okay, so this is what the market cap tells us, which is the total value of the company's outstanding shares of stock, right? And right now it's looking pretty healthy. And for your information, usually there are 3 categories of market cap, often in different ranges. So right now, even at this 1 billion plus mark, we are still considered rather small cap. Okay, so there is still room to grow. Over time it has been steadily growing, so it is very promising. Then in terms of liquidity, you can see that right now we are also reaching the 1 billion mark. Maybe by now it would have surpassed, because it was just very, very tiny margin to 1 billion, and that was half an hour ago. Okay, so this is our current indicators, and right now in this video, what I'm going to do is I would like to continue from where I ended off earlier in terms of the reward policy changes. I will continue to do some live account sharing with you, so that you have a better understanding, and then with that better understanding you can better plan for your own accounts within the next few days to get prepared for these new policy changes. Okay, first up, I'm going to walk you through this account, which has SVP ranking. And before we go into the full details, let's take a quick look in the liquidity pledge for this account. It is at 120 USDT, right? And this account, as I mentioned, is that of an SVP. Now, for SVP, it is how many times? There is a capping, right? And for SVP, there is a capping, which is here. You can see for SVP, the capping is at 4 times of your own liquidity amount, your own staked or pledged liquidity amount. Okay, so with that, let's toggle back to the wallet, right? And so when it says 4 times, it actually means that first you look at what is your liquidity pledged amount. Here it is $121, right? So 121 times 4x, that will work out to be 484. Okay, so that is essentially based on what you have pledged. Your capping 4 times is this amount, 484. So bear this number in mind. Now let's enter into the team reward to dissect the details of this account, shall we? So click on the arrow of team reward, and here you can see that this account is that of an SVP. Again, remember, it is 4x for SVP. That means the market maximum, the capping for your reward is 4 times. Now let's dissect these numbers here. Team total rewards for this account, so far it has gained about 158 SCF, and based on the current price of SCF, it equivalent to close to $9,688. And here is an important indicator. The remaining limit of total team rewards, here it says is 0. Why? Because for this account, the number of SCF extracted is already this, and so it has already maxed up its maximum. Because based on the liquidity earlier, remember, the liquidity pledge was only $100 over, and 4 times of it was a value of 424. And now this account, the total received is already a value of 9,688, which means that this has way past excess of the value that it has been entitled to. It has crossed the maximum mark, you see. And so basically for this specific account, it has overdrawn. In other words, it has exceeded its 4 times limit, which is calculated based on the amount of liquidity added into this account right now times 4, and that would come to 424. But as you can see, for this account, I have already extracted 9,688 from this account, right? So the difference that I have over extracted is easy to calculate, and it would come to this amount here, which is 9,689 minus 424, and it is 9,265. Okay, 9,265. And so to calculate how much I have to top up on my liquidity, as well as topping up is just one part. I think topping up and not earning any interest doesn't make sense. So what amount of liquidity I have to top up, as well as to pledge it out, in order to earn my at least 1% return a day. Of course, I can earn more than 1% depending on which option I choose, right? And so now the main thing is, how do I calculate how much I am required to top up in order for this account to continue to be activated, so that after 6 days I can still enjoy the benefit of SVP. So to calculate that, it's we can work backwards. Okay, we work backwards, we reverse engineering. So we take 9,265 to divide by 4, because again, don't forget, for SVP is 4 times, right? 4x. So divide by 4, and that would work out to be 2,317. Let's round up, so it's 2,317. Therefore, in order to top up the difference minimally, I have to invest 2,317. But that's not good enough, because every day I would still be gaining daily profits and daily rewards, right, for the ranking. And the daily rewards and ranking fluctuates, and it can be in the region of maybe 800 to 1,000 or 1,002. And so I have to cater for that. So therefore, in order to do that, it would make more sense if I would top up at least I guess 3,000. If I were to top up 3,000, and that would be times 4, and that would come to 12,000. Okay, and with 12,000, then I would have some excess, because with 12,000 I would have to less back off what I have overdrawn, which is 9,265. So 12,000 minus 9,265, okay, and that would work out to be 2,735, right? So I would still be able to extend the longevity of this account by 2,765, and this could help me last a few days, okay, depending on my rewards every day. So let's just say if the reward is about $1,000, right, then that means this extends me to close to 3 days. Okay, then what will happen after that? Then I would have to, still continue to top up the pledging to activate this account by plowing back perhaps 20% of my daily rewards earned every day. So let's say if I get a daily return of 1,000, then daily I should pledge back 200, just top up on this account to keep topping up. So let's go by a 20-80 rule, for example. So 20% to top back and pledge back, and 80% that I could withdraw it. Okay? Now, but one very, very, very important factor that I need to highlight to you guys, okay? So this, apart from you topping up, in order to qualify based on the cap amount of your ranking, you must remember that one very important factor, which I'm going to highlight now in green, one very important factor is your net worth has to be a positive, has to be plus. Meaning to say that in your network, right, the amount of pledging, amount of adding to liquidity has to be more than the amount that is being withdrawn every day. Okay, so your plus must be more than your minus in order for this part to be positive, in order for you to qualify for any form of team benefits or rewards. And that includes your indirect referral commission, your direct referral commission, your ranking commission, team benefits, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is another criteria you need to fulfill on top of this maximum capping for your ranking. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Yeah, I know it's a little bit complicated and all of us need some adjustment and understanding and to get into the groove. Well, anyway, this is something that we need to embrace for the longevity of the company, okay, in order to make sure that the company continue to thrive and so that we can all survive, right? So this is an example of an SVP account. Now let's do a final one, which is for an ED account. Oh boy, I realized that I have forgotten to press record somewhere. I don't know actually where. I can't interrupt the video right now, but maybe I will just rewind a little bit, okay? And I hope that this video can still be comprehensive for you, that you wouldn't miss out too much, okay? So this account is that of an ED account, and for an ED account it is 5x, it's 5 times, right? And what happened for this account is that it has added, okay, let me show you, okay? The liquidity of this account, the liquidity pledge of this account is only at 132. So 132, and don't forget this is ED, and ED is 5 times, right? It's capped at 5 times. So what we do is that we take this value 132 times 5. Sorry. Let's work it upstairs here. 132 times 5, and it works out to 660. All right, so by right, this account by right, my benefit that I can benefit capped at is 660. So let's look into the final details quickly, okay? Let's take a look and click onto the top button for the team reward. Here you see the ranking, and so it's for 5 times. And so far, that I have already withdrawn this amount of benefit, and therefore here it shows that I cannot be entitled more by right because I have over withdrawn. I have exceeded the 5 times capping, right? So what am I going to do? And don't forget, at this juncture, in order to qualify for any of the active benefits, your team net deposit has to be a plus. And how do you see it's a plus? You see this 3 asterisks in FUSD, and then you know that you are in a positive state. Okay? And only when you qualify, when your network has more additions than subtractions, then you can qualify for the benefit. And what is constituting to the plus? So things like adding to liquidity, pledging, whether is it LP pledging or quick pledge, all these are pluses. So what would constitute minus? Minus would be when your network, the people, they withdraw the daily mining rewards, or when they withdraw the pledging when it matures, so those will constitute to minus. So on a daily basis, the system will tabulate for you. If your plus is more than minus, then it is a healthy ROI, a return on investment for the company, right? So then your network is healthy, then only you qualify for the benefits. So this is criteria number 1, okay? Your network has to be in the positive state first, all right? And then the second thing is then you have to calculate and see whether the amount that you pledge to the liquidity, is it sufficient enough for you to still qualify to earn the daily team benefits. So for this specific account, let's do a quick calculation. So bearing in mind just now that figure I mentioned to you was 660, right? And now what has already been drawn is this amount, right? So we have to see what was exceeding, what is the amount that has been exceeded for this account. So by doing that, we use this 15,434 minus 660 to get the value. So based on a quick calculation, right? So right now the amount that has been exceeded is 15,400 plus, and yet the amount that I have pledged so far after multiplying 5 times was 660. So let's do a subtraction, and it works out to be just now 14,700 plus. So in other words, I have to pledge an amount that would, after multiplying 5 times, would be more than enough to cover this figure. All right, and so let's say if I were to pledge, 3,000, if I were to pledge 3,000, then it is times 5, right? Because for ED is 5x, so it's times 5. Then it would come to 15,000. But 15,000 after less 14,700, I would only have a balance of 300. And based on the daily reward of an ED, this would not, I mean, in less than a day, this would be totally burst, right? So that means it's still not going to be sufficient if the top up is nearly 3,000 to add to the liquidity as well as to pledge out. So comfortably, most likely to add 4,000 at least, which then times 5 times would come to 20,000. Okay, so 20,000 after lessing off that 20,000 after subtracting this amount that I have already exceeded, then I would still have at least a 5,300 that I could utilize, so that I could extend the longevity of this account in order to sustain it, in order to still benefit from the daily return. All right, and the daily return is in the region of maybe 1,000 to 1,200. So this 5,300 could still sustain for a few more days. And then what happens after that? So what happens is, from whatever the rewards that is being offered, given for this account, apply the 20-80 rule. So the 20% of it will plow back into pledging within this account, and the other 80%, it can be utilized, by converting to fiat money, etc. All right, so this is the way that you can continue to sustain this account. Continue, in other words, to keep your mother hen inside. Right now, for this account, my mother hen is too skinny, so I have to fatten it up. How do I fatten it up? I will need to plow back 4,000 to add into the liquidity and pledging, so that the 4,000 can multiply by 5 to become 20,000. So when the mother hen is fattened, so whatever in the past, the malnutrition, the mother hen gets back all the nutrition into the body, then the mother hen can continue to lay eggs every day, right? And so when the mother hen, let's say the mother hen lays 10 eggs a day, then you only fry 8 of the eggs. The other 2 eggs, you have to put it back into the farm, so that the 2 eggs can hatch into little chicks and then grow from there. All right, so this is as simple and as best analogy I can think of right now to explain this whole scenario, and I really hope that you finally get the gist of it. And I also pray and hope that all our eggs can turn into golden eggs. Okay, so God bless everyone, and I hope this has been clear. So a quick summary is, I have walked through in this video to tell you that, well, the date of this new reward system will implement 6 days later, on the 22nd of September. I have walked through with you the latest market cap, the latest liquidity of SCF coin in the AVE.AI app. I have walked through with you an SVP account, on what you have to do to top up. And lastly, I've also walked through an ED account on, how to calculate, and, how, you can continue to sustain your account and benefit from the whole system, and continue to align with the company. And like I said, once the company continues to thrive, and we will all survive. All right, so everybody have a blessed Sunday. Take good care.